Yeah, this is Al Peachman. I served in the Navy throughout World War II, and I was very proud to be in the Navy because I thought I was doing something. I was a radio man, and I regret I didn't stay in, but when the war was over, I left it, and I went to University of New York. Today, my home is in Hudson Falls, New York. It's about 225 miles north of New York City, and I spend a lot of time here in Hawaii with my better half, Judy Patton, who is behind me, and I'm very happy to be here in the winter time because we have below freezing in the Adirondacks,
Oh, yes.
and now I'm retired 36 years after having taught high school for many, many years. So well, I'm very happy to be here. But in World War II, I traveled quite a bit in the Pacific, and I participated in many of our great campaigns. I think.
Well, I'm going to ask you just three quick questions. I don't want to tie you up all morning here, but tell us how you got in the Navy, because it wasn't, and then tell us a little bit about your Navy career. And then I want to hear about your life after the Navy, how you got into teaching, what you taught at school. Thank you, please.
Yes. Well, one day I was playing ping pong when I was 19 years of age. Now that was not significant as a day, but my uncle and I often played ping pong, and about 5 o'clock in the afternoon we received word that Pearl Harbor was attacked. And I heard President Roosevelt on Monday declare war on Japan, and it was quite a dramatic speech that he gave. And after a few months, I thought it over and I said, you know, at my age, I think I'd like to go to war. So I enlisted in New York City. It was very hard to enlist because you had to be in very good physical shape. I think half of them flunked. Then I went to Great Lakes where they flunked another half. I couldn't believe the buddies who went home because at that time I don't think the Navy was pulling out too many men. They were a little particular yet compared to the fact that they did not have, I guess, the ships and everything they needed. But I got in and went to Great Lakes, and we had quite a disciplined life there, which hit many of us strangely because you had to really toe the mark. For example, you had to wear leggings at all times, be in the run at all times, get up early like I did this morning, and from there I went to the University of Chicago Radio School, and it was also a very strict place, and the classes were conducted very much by Navy men who demanded absolute discipline, and you better toe the mark or you were on the list. I don't want to say the name of the list, but start with the letter S. And you learn to behave. And from there they sent me to California, no leave home or anything. And in California I was sent to a place I didn't expect, Port Hueneme. Port Hueneme was mainly for Seabees and Marines. And I said, why am I here in Port Hueneme? I want to go on the ship. Do as you're told. So I had to learn amphibious landings, which we did. I had a rifle given to me, and I had to go in the field with the Marine Corps, bayonet, got all that training in addition. But I liked it because I came from a farm near on the Pennsylvania border next to West Virginia, and I thought I'd be a coal miner, but I couldn't make the grade. So I went to New York City, but I only had a menial job there at that time, and I joined the Navy. And from there we went to New Caledonia. New Caledonia is a French island where they weren't too happy, but the Japanese already were occupying Guadalcanal. So we took that after many, many months, lost a lot of men. From there went to Bougainville area, Treasury Island, and I was stationed with the New Zealand Army. We invaded one morning, uh, troops, and my job was to establish a radio communication. There were a bunch of us. We formed a base later, and after quite a bit of battle there, we got control of it and built one of the most marvelous airfield in no time, right out of the jungle. CBs knocked over the big trees, and we saved 3 aircraft right away, which more than paid for their work. And then after many, many months, we had it pretty good. A ship come in, they wanted a man because one man was leading the ship. They needed him for radio. Well, my buddy and I both wanted to go on the ship. Well, I beat him. Had a game. About a month later, I think it was, he wrote me a letter from Australia. He did go to New Guinea as he thought he went to Australia. He has sent me pictures of beautiful girls and him drinking beer. I said, Al, why don't you kick your butt? I'm going up on the bridge and I'm going to kick my butt to a pulp, which I did. And then I said, am I happy? Yes, I'm happy. And that's how we went to all of these places. We were in much of New Guinea's area. New Guinea's a big place, the second largest island in the world. And 3 days would only get up part of one side, just part.
Pretty wild.
Yeah, and from there we did a lot of work. We went up to Philippines later, and we were in that invasion. And then toward the end of the war, we invaded Okinawa. And the guys always knew that I knew what was going on as a radio man, but I wasn't supposed to. And they told me, we're going into Okinawa. What can we expect? I said, well, I took out made sure my insurance is right. I sent every buck I had to my mother. Half of us aren't coming back. Get the guns well oiled, sighted in, and be ready for battle. Well, you know, unfortunately, one day we're attacked by 2 aircraft diving for us, and we shot the one down, blew him up, and the other one coming in was hit, and is coming right for me. But luckily, the aviator was dead. It was smoking, but it was weighing him down a little bit, and he hit right below me, and the ship is low, the water line. I don't think I was further from here to that box below with a 500-pound bomb on the aircraft. I was lucky. On the other 4 ships, that's where they were hit with the great loss of men. And one day, one of my officers told me, you're here so long, I'm going to send you home alone because the ship couldn't leave. We had 185 other air raids all the time. So I joined the troop ship, came to Frisco, and they said, you will now relieve the men go through Panama Canal. Well, I went over there and had my leave. The ship beat me. And when I come back, it was already on the way to Philadelphia. That was the extent of my naval career.
Well, that sounds like fun.
Huh?
So you actually went on shore on these islands? Or how did
Yeah, for about a year.
Wow.
We invaded. That's a thrilling
So you had a lot of landings. So.
Yeah, you know, that's a thrilling experience to hit an enemy early in the morning and
You
go.
were half Marine, weren't you?
Yeah, for the first year.
Wow.
That's why I wanted to go on the ship and made another mistake. But I was lucky. I value my experience that I had in the war. I'm proud to have served in our Navy, and I am now sorry to tell you most of my comrades are gone. We had a number of reunions. Last one, 2008, we had 4 men, so I had to quit. Now I only know of 1 beside me.
Yeah.
So that's about
Well,
what I can tell you.
congratulations. And, you know, I've heard so many Navy guys say, I wish I would have stayed in the Navy, although they had great careers afterwards. Now, I've got your wife in the picture here. She's been in the picture the whole time. Now, did you ask him to leave the Navy, or were you married by then?
No,
I'm the
no,
second.
we're both widowed.
Okay. So how did you leave the Navy? By the way, you're beautiful, and thank you for being here today.
Yeah, we met
very
about.
nice.
We're only
Yeah.
we're together about 3 years now. You know. But I had a wife for 65 years,
Wow.
and we had 3 children. That was it.
That's why you're still here. Well, here's one of the guys.
Yeah,
You want to say hi to this gentleman?
yeah, sure do. Good morning.
I'm Herb.
I'm Al.
Al, nice to meet you, Al.
Were you in Pearl Harbor?
Army, yeah.
In the Army?
Army, yeah. Uh-huh.
Oh, I'm glad to meet you. You were here that day.
He has on his cap. He was on the USS Witter. That's the ship he was on.
Are these going to be there all the time?
I do not know, sir.
How old are you?
96.
Oh, I see. That's what I am.
Are you? Okay.
This gentleman right here had a question for you.
Yes. How's it going?
Okay.
Good. Corey Hurd.
Let's finish up our story real
I'm
quick,
Corey Hurd.
quietly before.
Yes.
I'm Herb.
Hey, Herb.
Then I'll let you enjoy your buddies. But
You actually
yeah, so
are-
tell me how you left the Navy and then what you
here.
taught at school, please.
Are you
Oh.
doing the salute? Yes.
When I got out, I had all the points I needed. So I took it, and school was starting, college.
Are you?
And we got out, well, the war ended in September, and we got out just about that time. And I got out on a Friday, and Monday was up to New York University and enrolled in the university. So went from Friday, I had 2 days off, I went to college. Because I wanted to get in before all the other guys beat me.
Okay.
And that's about how I stayed there for 5 years. And then I went up to a village way up north.
Yes.
Yeah. And raised my, and then after my years, I started coming out here. So I'm out here more than there.
And then just tell us real quick about what you taught at school and what you thought of the kids. So you were high school?
All the kids I met now are old, many of them older than you, and they all seem to have liked me, what they tell me. I told them I thought I was a failure, but I got a big kick out of most of them. But I did do my best to help a lot of them are unfortunate, you know. They don't have a good home life. They don't know how to behave in
Right.
society. But I did my best to help them, and I think
Yes.
they enjoyed it. And I'm always invited to their functions. But it was great to also have many who were rascals. I thought I was one. I enjoyed their jokes and everything too, you know. I wasn't a tyrant, but I did try to hold a tight
Well,
rope
of
on.
course, that's exactly what they need.
Yeah.
Who knows if they're getting anything at home? And here you're the only hope for good behavior, right?
Yeah, man, today it's very difficult, you know.
Yes. Yeah, say that again and thank you.
He was honored with a big plaque for all the effort and teaching he did in Hudson Falls, New York. One of his things is he asked them if there was a question that he would raise their rate if they could stump him in a history question. They never could.
Yes.
Was a marvelous teacher.
Yes.
He makes interesting history.
Yes.
He knows behind the scenes, not just what's in the book.
And that's so important for everyone to know history. We think we're all new, everything's different now. Just read your history books. Yes.
Some of them don't know there was a World War II. I talked to some kids the other day. They didn't know there was World War II.
And they
Now,
don't know
what are
who
you gonna
fought it.
do?
Just think about it. It was a fight between communism, Nazism, and freedom.
I tell them, you know, if we would have won in World War II, you might not be living like this.
Thank you so much.